conservative in America, and I'm watching CNN, just for the straight middle of the road. That's what I hear for 15 minutes, is it's great, and then Lonely Scott. It does look, I mean, and when you see the path, it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View. Most pressing question, Kaitlan, you would ask VP Harris if you had the chance. Ooh.
I have a lot of questions for her, but I do think I would ask about, where she stood when she was running as a candidate and for the 2020 Democratic primary and where she stands on a lot of issues now. She's criticized a lot by Republicans for reversing her positions. I think also, Donald Trump has reversed a lot of his positions from covering those. But I think I would be interested in her evolution and where her instincts are and what she learned from governing with a moderate like President.
Conservative in America, and I'm watching CNN just for the straight middle of the road. That's what I hear for 15 minutes is it's great, and then Lonely Scott it does look, and when you see the P it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View. Remember that viral moment when Bill Maher absolutely ripped into Kaitlan Collins and CNN on live TV? Yeah, that one the internet lit up and people couldn't stop replaying the smackdown, but guess what, that showdown was just the beginning. The clash between Maher and Collins is turning into a full-blown media war, and it's getting uglier by the day. Now let's be real, this isn't just two professionals exchanging polite disagreements on policy. Nope, this is straight-up media beef. Maher has been calling her out without holding back, and Kaitlan, she's out here charging forward like she's on a mission from the heavens. Forget neutrality, Collins is playing hardball and everyone can see it. She's not just reporting the news, she's trying to shape it. People are saying she's turned into a self-righteous pit bull obsessed with one mission: get Trump out of the White House no matter what it takes. She's relentless, no pause, no apology, no second guessing. She'll twist a narrative, drop a loaded question, or slap on a fake "I'm just doing my job" smile, all while acting like she's the last moral voice in journalism. And if anyone dares to challenge her, what is the most pressing question, Kaitlan, you would ask VP Harris if you had the chance? I have a lot of questions for her, but I do think I would ask about where she stood when she was running as a candidate in and for the 2020 Democratic primary, and where she stands on a lot of issues now. She's criticized a lot by Republicans for reversing her positions. I think also, Donald Trump has reversed a lot of his positions from covering those, but I think I would be interested in her evolution and where her instincts are, and what she learned from governing with a moderate like President Biden. Boom, instant villain. Think this is all just drama? Wait till you see the throwback footage we dug up. It's wild, pure media theater. Back when the tension was just simmering, Ma sat down and threw a curveball at Kaitlan. He asked her something simple, but it exposed everything. He said, if you had a one-on-one sit down with Kla Harris, what would you ask her? And just like that, you could feel the vibe shift. Instead of answering with curiosity or objectivity, Kaitlan's energy turned cold, defensive. You could tell it wasn't about the question, it was about the agenda. That moment it lit the match, and what's followed has been weeks of thinly veiled jabs, televised tension, and unspoken hostility between these two big league media names. Buckle up, this drama is just getting started. Seems like a simple, harmless question, right? What would you ask Kla Harris? But somehow Kaitlan Collins pulled a full-on pivot and managed to detour the entire convo straight to Donald Trump. Like, how does that even happen? It's like Trump lives rent-free in her mind 24/7. The guy could be golfing in Florida completely off the grid and she'd still find a way to squeeze his name into the segment like it's some kind of requirement. And it's not just a habit, it's a reflex of full-blown obsession. Trump isn't a political figure to her anymore, he's her favorite prop, her go-to buzzword. The one name that guarantees headlines, drama, and social media clicks. Every time she mentions him, you can practically hear the CNN producers clapping in the control room like clockwork. You guys have that debate. It's ABC debate, ABC debate. If it happens, I still think it's an open question of how it happened. Trump's going to go. He's got to. You think Trump is going to pull out? I think Trump is nervous about it. I think Trump, I talked to a lot of sources in his world. I think he has really struggled with it. It's not just a narrative or a talking point from Democrats. He really has struggles with how to combat her, and I think going into that debate he does not really want to do it. I think it's difficult, if not impossible, for him to pull out because his campaign manager had cards printed that said anywhere, anytime, any place for President Biden, and it would look weak, but I don't think he's looking forward to it. At this point, why is she doing this? Easy. Trump is her trump card, no pun intended. Her golden goose. Her audience is primed and ready to foam at the mouth at the slightest mention of his name. So what does she do? She feeds it again and again, not because it's relevant, but because it works. It keeps her in the spotlight, keeps viewers riled up, and keeps the anti-Trump hysteria burning like wildfire. Facts. Nah, it's all about the outrage now, but Bill Maher wasn't buying it, not even for a second. He saw the setup coming a mile away. You could see it in his face. He already knew Kaitlan wasn't going to answer the question straight. He knew she was just looking for the perfect moment to slide Trump into the conversation like it was part of some pre-planned monologue, and this time he wasn't about to let it slide. Instead of sitting back and watching her go on another anti-Trump rant, Maher flipped the whole script. He cut right through the fluff, exposed the angle, and made her squirm on live TV. She didn't Expect that you could tell the usual rhythm gone her. Confidence. Shaken, her rehearsed jabs blocked. It was one of those moments where you know someone just got outplayed on their own turf, and let's just say Kaitlan did not take it well. Her smile got tighter, her tone got colder, and the deflection game kicked into high gear, but the damage was done, the routine was over, and Maher had called her bluff in front of everyone. Now here's where it gets even more ironic. Kaitlan and CNN love to act like they're above the noise. Fair, balanced, unbiased, that's the mantra they love to repeat every time they're called out, but let's be honest, come on, if that segment proved anything, it's that the whole Neutrality Act is just that, an act they swear up and down that they're not leaning left, but their behavior, it screams agenda. And Kaitlan, whether she admits it or not, seems like she's already made up her mind about Trump before any debate, before any polling, before any facts were on the table. She was already talking like he was either going to bail or lose, like the outcome was written in stone, and she just forgot to mention who carved it. Where's the objectivity in that? She wasn't analyzing the debate, she was writing the ending like she had some kind of crystal ball and a script to follow, and all of it disguised as journalism. So much for being the voice of truth. I'm not a political pundit trying to analyze this stuff, but I do know that it's a very easy debate to win, so all you have to say is, look, you had 4 years, I had 4 years when I was president. And when you were president, here's the differences: gas prices are up 50% when you were when you're vice president, electricity prices up 30%, grocery up 22%, the list keeps going. Taxes were lower under Trump, they raised them under Biden Harris. Regulations were lower under Trump, they raised them under Biden and Harris. Immigration numbers way down, they actually tried to stop the problem. Record numbers under Biden and Harris. This is a very easy debate to win because on the metrics it's very easy to show side by side, okay, but that's what his campaign wants him to say. But Donald Trump is it's not a campaign where you just give him his talking points and he goes out there and delivers them. I mean, Donald Trump is his own biggest. None of it was based on strategy. Now Kaitlan Collins was operating on pure unfiltered wishful thinking, no stats, no hard analysis, just vibes and bias in her head. Trump was already toast. She didn't even pretend to give him a fair shot in the race. No let's wait and see, no curiosity about the voters, just a whole made-up fantasy where Trump had already lost before even stepping on the field. She had it all neatly wrapped up in her imagination. In Kaitlan's world, Trump was done, over, out of the game, but reality, oh reality, wasn't playing along. Reality had a whole different storyline locked and loaded in Bill Maher. He was sitting back watching it all go down like a hawk, calm, calculating, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, because if there's one thing Maher doesn't miss, its media nonsense. And Kaitlan, she had no clue what was coming. She was too busy spinning the narrative thinking she had the upper hand, but May was about to flip the table. The trap had already been set and she was walking right into it. But before we get into that takedown, hit play on this clip. Seriously, you need to see it with your own eyes, then I'll drop my take. Now back to the so-called debate. Let's be honest, it was a layup for Trump, straight up political home court advantage. All he had to do was stand on that stage and hit the people with facts, remind them how things actually were under his administration. The economy booming, borders way more secure, foreign policy tight, global respect still intact. And now under Biden and Harris things feel chaotic, divided, unstable. So when you line it all up side by side, Trump barely even has to talk. The contrast speaks for itself. So why on earth would he back out? That's what made Kaitlan's take so bizarre. What was she even saying? It's like she couldn't wrap her head around the idea of Trump walking onto that stage and completely owning it. Like the very thought was too much to process. So instead she built this alternate reality, one where Trump either chickens out or completely crashes, a fake version of events to protect her ego in case the real version didn't go her way. And if that fantasy started falling apart, no worries, she had a backup plan ready to go. Dismissed the victory before it even happened. Talk about dodging reality with style. She didn't just rain on the parade, she brought the whole thunderstorm before the balloons even had